I'd been driving rideshare long enough to think I'd seen everything, until Cypress Mountain changed how I pick up fares forever. It was November last year. I'd been driving for Uber in Vancouver for about 6 months. I usually stuck downtown, but Sunday nights, those were gold. Few late-night airport runs, maybe some club pickups, and you're set. It was a little after 1 in the night, and I had just dropped a couple off in Gastown. My phone pinged immediately. New ride request. Pick up Eleanor. Location: a roadside pull off near Cypress Mountain. Now, if you don't know Vancouver, Cypress is mostly a ski and hiking area. At night, it's pitch black, barely any traffic. Not exactly a hotspot for rideshares. Still, the pay was good. Surge pricing. I accepted. It was about a 15-minute climb into the hills. The city lights faded behind me, and the road narrowed. Forest on both sides. Snow piled on the shoulders. No street lamps. When I finally spotted the pull off, it was lit by just one flickering bulb over a weathered wooden bus shelter. No buses run up there after dark, but she was standing inside it. Long beige coat, and she was still. Not checking her phone, not pacing. Just standing, hands folded in front of her. I pulled in, rolled down the passenger window. "You, Eleanor." She turned her head slowly and nodded. Her face was pale in the half-light. She got in the back seat directly behind me without saying a word.
Already creeped out. Who waits for an Uber in the mountains at 1 in the night?
But people do strange things after midnight. I tried not to judge. Her drop-off location was an address in Deep Cove, across the city, about 40 minutes away. As we started downhill, I tried small talk. Cold night to be out. She didn't answer. I checked the mirror. She was looking straight ahead, face blank, eyes fixed on the windshield. 10 minutes in, I noticed she wasn't wearing gloves. Her hands were bare and wet. Not from snow, darker, like she dipped them in ink. The hair on my neck stood up. Halfway to the Lions Gate Bridge, she finally spoke. Her voice was calm, almost polite. "Can we take the long way?" Surge was high. My thumb hovered over accept. I told myself it was just a night job. She didn't move. Don't follow the GPS. I'll tell you where to turn. Normally, I don't take unplanned detours. Safety, policy, all that. But something about the way she said it, like it wasn't a request. We turned off the main road into a quieter neighborhood. After a few turns, she told me, "Can you drive a bit slower?" Her voice was calm, but not relaxed. I nodded. Didn't ask why. She kept glancing over her shoulder. Not at me, but behind us. Like she was making sure no one was following. Up ahead, headlights appeared in the distance, coming toward us. She suddenly sat forward, eyes locked on that car. "Slow here." I slowed down, confused. The other car passed us, but her eyes followed it until it vanished around the bend. Then she said, "Okay, you can keep going now." We turned off the main road into a quieter neighborhood. Houses spaced far apart, just empty streets. After a few more turns, she told me to stop.
Oh no. In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, and here's the thing. We weren't at her drop-off, not even close. We were parked beside a chain link fence, beyond which was forest, dense, black. She leaned forward. "Wait here. I won't be long." Before I could respond, she was out of the car, slipping through a gap in the fence like she'd done it 100 times. I watched her vanish into the trees. I should have driven off. My gut was screaming at me too, but part of me wanted to see where this was going. Minutes passed. My headlights caught only drifting snow. No movement. Then I heard it. Not footsteps, but dragging. Something being pulled across frozen ground. She emerged from the tree line, coat swaying around her knees. Whatever she'd gone for, she wasn't carrying it anymore. She got back in, breathing steady. "Okay," she said. "Now to Deep Cove."
You didn't ask what she was doing out there.
I wanted to, but the air in the car felt heavy. Like if I asked, I'd regret hearing the answer. The rest of the drive was silent. Not a word until we reached a narrow, dead-end road by the water. The house at the end was dark. No cars in the driveway. We rolled down that uneven path until she told me to stop. She reached for the door handle, then looked straight at me in the mirror. Her smile this time wasn't faint. It was deliberate. "Thanks for the ride," she said. "You helped more than you know." She stepped out, pulling that leather bag over her shoulder, and vanished into the darkness. I exhaled, checked my mirrors, and grabbed my phone to mark the trip complete. The ride info was gone. No passenger name, no route, no record of the trip at all.
Don't tell me you still drive nights after that.
I do. But I never pick up near the mountains anymore. Because sometimes I wonder if she wasn't going to Deep Cove at all. Maybe she wasn't going anywhere we could see on a map. You think driving Uber is easy money? Pick up, drop off, repeat. But one night in late November, I learned how quickly a normal ride can turn into something you don't walk away from unchanged. It was just after 1 in the night when I got the ping. I was already thinking about calling it a night, but the pickup was only 5 minutes away. Outside a 24-hour pharmacy. Easy enough. The rider's name was Aaron. When I pulled up, he was leaning against the side wall, hood up, phone in hand. Just standing there like he'd been waiting. "Uber for Aaron?" I asked, lowering the window. He looked up, smiled faintly, and slid into the back seat.
"Yeah, thanks, man. Kinda dead out here tonight, huh?"
I confirmed his destination. A quiet residential street 20 minutes away. As soon as I started driving, I noticed him watching the rearview mirror more than his phone. Like he was checking if someone was following. "Rough night?" I asked. He chuckled, but it didn't sound relaxed. "Yeah, just need to get home." Halfway on the road, he suddenly leaned forward.
"Hey, can you take a different route? That last turn. I think that car's been behind us since the pharmacy."
I glanced at my mirror. A black SUV a few lengths back. No headlights flashing, no aggressive driving. "You sure?" I asked.
"Just humor me,"
he said. I switched to side streets. The SUV didn't follow. But Aaron didn't relax. If anything, he got quieter. A few minutes later, he spoke again.
"Do me a favor. Drop me at the corner, not my actual address."
That wasn't unusual. Lots of riders do that for privacy. We rolled deeper into the suburbs. Just rows of dark houses, and the occasional porch light glowing. My fingers tightened on the wheel. I kept telling myself it's just another fare. Just another tired guy who's paranoid after midnight. But the silence inside the car wasn't normal. I've done thousands of rides. You learn to read people. Something about him felt coiled. Like he was ready for something I couldn't see. "Almost there," I said, glancing at my GPS. But he shook his head.
"Keep going. Take the next left. Quicker."
Except it wasn't quicker. It was darker. A long street with no houses finished yet, just framed out skeletons of homes and muddy lots. I slowed down. "This doesn't look like your neighborhood." "It's fine," he muttered. "Just keep driving." I noticed his hands, resting on his knees, fingers twitching. Finally, he pointed.
"Pull over up there. Right by that dumpster."
I hesitated. "Look, man,"
"Just do it.
he said sharply, then softened his voice.
Please. Just 2 minutes."
So I pulled over. My headlights washed over a construction site. Half-built houses, scattered tools, a chain link fence rattling in the wind. No other cars. No people. Just rain spitting on the windshield. He opened the door but didn't get out right away. Instead, he looked at me through the gap, eyes dark under his hood.
"Wait here. Keep the doors locked,"
he said. And then he was gone, walking fast into the shadows between the empty houses. A narrator. That's when I saw it. The same dark sedan that had been tailing us earlier rolled slowly into the street. The way it just idled there sent a chill up my spine. I didn't wait to find out what was going on. I hit the gas and got out of there. I just wanted to save my own life. After a minute that felt like an hour, I pulled over 2 streets away. I sat there. Do I call the cops? Do I just leave? I checked the app. Ride still active. Timer still running. His destination was only 4 blocks from where I dropped him, but he'd chosen to leave the car. I finally ended the trip. I never saw Aaron again. Never got a report about him. Never got a message from Uber. When someone steps into your car and you know instantly, you've made a huge mistake. It happened to me on a rainy Friday night. The streets were almost empty, and I just wanted to finish my last ride and crash at home. When the app pinged, I didn't even check the profile picture. Just hit accept. He was waiting outside a closed gas station. Big guy, 6'3" at least, broad shoulders under a soaked hoodie. He slid into the back seat, rain dripping off his sleeves.
"Man, you're a lifesaver,"
He said, almost friendly.
"I need a ride to the west side."
I smiled in the rear view. No problem. Buckle up. I pulled away. At first we made small talk. He said he worked construction. He said his phone died. He said a lot of things, but none of it stuck. I kept catching him staring at my dashboard, my hands, the road ahead. And then he leaned forward.
"You always work late."
He asked. "Sometimes," I said, keeping it casual.
"That's dangerous, man. You never know who you're picking up."
My smile froze. Something about the way he said it. Not joking, not warning, just stating a fact. He gave quick directions, not using street names, just left here. Straight for 2 blocks. Right at the light, I noticed his fists. Huge, scarred knuckles resting on his knees. And every time I glanced back, his eyes were already on me. We stopped at a red light. No cars, no people. That's when he said it.
"Pull over up there. Dark spot by the fence."
Something in me snapped awake. "This isn't a drop-off point," I said carefully. "I can take you to your address."
I said, "Pull over."
Not shouting, just final. I slowed the car, pretending to obey, while my mind raced to keep calm, keep talking. Don't make it worse. "Look, man," I said, forcing a laugh, "you're not gonna rob your Uber driver, right?" He smiled, wide and calm. "Who said anything about robbing you?" That smile froze my blood. I eased into the shadowed curb. Before I could even shift to park, something cold touched my neck. A knife, big and sharp enough to feel heavy in his hand.
"Phone. Wallet. And don't look back."
I handed them over, fingers shaking. He never yelled, never rushed. Just sat there too close, breathing steady. But then, instead of getting out, he said,
"Drive."
"Where?" My voice cracked.
"Just drive."
Rain pounded the windshield as we rolled deeper into the dark, past shuttered warehouses and empty lots. Every turn he gave felt random. Until I realized we weren't heading west anymore. We were circling. "Man," I said, forcing words past my dry throat, "you got what you wanted. Just let me go."
"Not yet."
That's when I caught it. A faint smell of whiskey on his breath when he leaned forward. He wasn't drunk enough to be sloppy, just enough to feel bold, reckless, and huge. He could break me in half. I knew if I panicked, I was done. So I played along, asked dumb questions. Anything to keep him talking, to keep his focus off the knife in his lap. Then he said something that chilled me.
"You ever wonder what people would do if nobody was watching?"
We passed under a busted streetlight. One flash of his face in the mirror. Not angry, not nervous, just curious. Like this was entertainment to him. I spotted an intersection ahead, bright with traffic cameras. "My only shot. I need gas," I blurted out. "We're almost empty." He squinted at the gauge. "Looks fine to me." "Not in this weather," I pushed. "I'm not risking stalling in the middle of nowhere." For a moment, silence. Then he nodded slowly.
"Fine. Gas station. But no cops. You try anything, I'll carve you up before anyone gets here."
I pulled up to the pump under bright fluorescent lights, praying someone would show up. Anyone. But it was deserted. And then, he opened the door himself. No warning. No word. He stepped out into the rain, walked briskly to the far end of the lot, and another car rolled up. He got in without looking back. Gone. I sat frozen, knife mark still fresh in my memory, breathing so hard I almost blacked out. That's the kind of person you never forget.